Florrie, you daft old thing. Ah well, for what can be done now? Arthur is no longer living in the proper way of it, but Florrie still breathes in and out. Her heart still thumps, still wants to keep going. How glad she is every morning to open her eyes onto this artex ceiling with its pink tasselled lampshade, to know that there's a whole new day ahead of her, which will have wonders in it, for days always do, even now, at her age. At this, the church bells start to chime for midnight. Florrie adjusts her bed linen. She lifts off her spectacles and sets them on her bedside table, alongside her novel and dried lavender, and counts the 12 sonorous bongs of St. Mary's. She listens for the lovely, deep hush that follows them. But tonight, the hush doesn't come. Rather, as the 12th chime fades, a new sound takes its place. What is? Florrie holds her breath to hear it better. It's a trembling, curious sound, like wind on a wire fence or a cello string. Or it's the lonesome call of the tawny owl that lives in the beechwoods, so that Florrie reaches, then, for her hearing aids, and turns up the volume, hoping she may hear the owl more clearly, for she adores owls, and has done since girlhood. But it is not the owl, or cello music. It is crying. There's no mistaking it. Someone is crying beyond her bedroom window. A tender, private crying, as if the person cradles an injured thing. The sound drifts between the parted curtains into Florrie's room, so that she stares wide-eyed and thinks, who on earth can this be? Crying at midnight, on the white painted bench outside her window. But Florrie knows the answer. It isn't just Florrie who misses Arthur Potts. Renata. How she must glow at this hour, with her white blonde hair and pale skin. How tiny she must look on that bench, folded, angular, all wrists and collarbones. For whilst she has always been small, she seems even smaller than she did before Arthur died. Indeed, there's such a sadness in Renata these days that Florrie would love to dismantle her, to take this sadness out of her, as if it were an actual tangible thing like a swallowed button or a kidney stone. For whilst they all mourn Arthur's death and the way of it, Renata blames herself too. Florrie knows this because she's overheard her, murmuring, I should have, or if only. At his funeral, Renata had pressed her fist to her chest as though it physically hurt. No one else thinks Renata is to blame, yet it seems that being the manager of Babbington Hall, she feels that she should have foreseen the fall and prevented it, should have cleared the plinth of bindweed, or nailed a sign to the crooked gatepost that said, keep out, or be careful, or roped off that weedy corner. But what difference would it have made? Arthur didn't die because of bindweed or rickety brickwork. A shoelace had been the cause in the end. Arthur died for the lack of a lasting double knot on his left shoe. So Arthur himself had been to blame. Poor Renata. Dear creature. What to do? Florrie wants to help. She wants to take Renata's hand and comfort her. She'd like to dab those crying eyes with a cool flannel whilst murmuring, there now, as a mother might. Perhaps she should call out through the window. Or she could pull the emergency cord that's installed in the corner and summon the night staff so they could rush to Renata, arms out, and lead her inside. And briefly, Florrie considers this idea. But then Renata cries here, of all places, in the darkest corner of the courtyard, near the potted hosta and crumbling wall where the wren makes her nest. Nobody lives in this part of Babbington except for Florrie herself, who is hardly any trouble, being 87, one-legged, and as deaf as a saucepan without her hearing aids. She suspects, therefore, that Renata doesn't wish to be helped. So Florrie doesn't pull the cord. Instead, she unhooks her hearing aids, sets them down and takes a sip of water. She adjusts her bed linen until she's satisfied, and turns out.